This is Coach Clem. I have the pleasure today to have the lovely Saffron joining us. Saffron, I'm so excited to have you today. We have so much to discuss, so much to talk about, to bring value to everyone listening. You are a wonderful, amazing, mind-blowing therapist, and you use EFT amongst other techniques, but probably with a focus on EFT.
Yeah.
Can we start by a little introduction? Could you tell us more about yourself, please?
Yeah, so I'm Saffron. My business is called Healing Womanhood, and it is all about women's empowerment. So it's all about connecting back into the magic of our bodies that we're born with but conditioned out of. So often I'll be supporting people through menopause, which is often a time when we're coming back into that feeling of magic where we sort of go, I've had enough with the looking after everyone else and doing what I'm supposed to. I'm ready to be me again. Sometimes it can be supporting people with their cycles or with fertility and birth things. It can be, there's a lot of trauma recovery. So healing from the experiences that we've been through, big and small. So, when we think about trauma, we think about, an attack or something really dramatic. But it can be the smaller things and just those little things that chip away at you over the years, and doing some healing work to uncover that can be incredibly powerful. And I use tapping more than anything else because it just is so powerful and it works so quickly. And seeing people, often even within one session, going from this place of, I really don't know what's going on, I don't know what I'm doing, and
Mm.
then coming to, yes, I'm confident and I know who I am and I know where I'm going. And yeah, doing that with myself as well quite often.
100%. Yeah, totally. It's lovely to hear that because I think it's going to resonate with so many people listening to us, like feeling that you're not living your truth. It's there, it's some way, but we have lost it.
Yeah, just that, well, something's not quite right. And I'm looking around me and I've got all of the things that society says that I should have, but something just doesn't feel quite right. And often that's just a sign that we've kind of diverged from our truth. And often it can be through kind of expectations. This is what you do next.
Mm.
You go to school, you go to college, you go to university, you get married, you have some babies, you buy a house, blah, 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 or whatever order society says those things should go in.
Mhm.
Um, and you can sometimes get lost along the way because we have that voice of truth within us, but it's not always easy to hear over all of the
Yes,
clamour.
absolutely. What was your own experience with that?
Very much that actually. I did, school, college, uni, get married, have some babies, buy a house. And for me, I was overriding a lot of voices from inside, but the big one for me was that I'm gay, and that was like obviously I kind of overrode that to go down the conventional route and just it was one of those situations where you can look around and be like, why aren't I happy? And it was because that I wasn't connecting with this really important truth about myself. And so coming out when I was 30, so fairly late, but not super late, was just this amazing freeing experience. And I had no idea what was going to happen, sort of
Mm.
practically, logistically, but just connecting to that piece of my own truth was just magical. It really gave me so much energy, it gave me so much joy. And and at that time, through making that decision, I essentially made myself homeless, but it was still the most joyful that I've felt. So I think connecting with truth, sometimes from the outside, the decisions that you make look a bit like, oh, that's terrifying.
Mm.
But from the inside, it just feels right. And then things, and I was kind of homeless for a very short time. And I had a good support network that I could stay with people. And things just started falling into place as, and that's what happens when you live your truth, when you
Yeah.
get quiet and find that voice and connect with it, everything just falls magically into place. And that's how you know you're on the right track.
Mm. Yeah. It's so funny because it feels like really like coming home. even if in your
Yes.
experience there was a phase of like having no home for a while.
Yeah.
Or you had to come home to yourself first. That makes sense.
Yes, definitely. That was it. And it did feel like that. It did feel like coming home and like finding a sense of belonging within myself. And then, people that I've known for a long time sort of came out back to me when I came out. And then this sort of network of other gay people and not gay people started to kind of build up around me, and I had all of this support. And it's almost sort of coming to a place that's home and then building the home around you.
Yeah, totally, totally. And it's such a different approach to the previous phase, which was a lot around and unconsciously, I'm sure, repressing, avoiding to see and not listening to these voices, but also not maybe potentially not being able to hear them, not being able to identify them. And I
Yeah.
feel like, and that's a conversation we often have together, but I feel like sometimes we're trying to fix. So let's say, going back to the example of the body, you're trying to fix the body is not behaving right. This is the fault in the body, or this is the fault in myself. I shouldn't be feeling this, shouldn't be feeling that. This is not the conventional way. And we are looking at things sort of in a way that is actually not the truth. Again, I think
Mm.
truth is really important to identify in the way we stop um, looking at the body's symptoms as a problem and look at them in their magic and listen to them and take them on board into the way that we live, we create a complete different parenting, don't we?
Absolutely. And I think, yeah, there's a few things that I want to pick up on there. And the first one is that should and shouldn't. I shouldn't be feeling like this. And I think that very much kind of guided my early sort of decisions. What
Mm,
should I be doing? And I
mm,
see it with clients as well. What should I be doing at this stage? And that should is very loud, and that inner voice can feel very quiet. We're not trained. Well, I was going to say we're not trained to listen to it, but it's more we're trained not to listen to it.
yes.
Like
Yes.
this, we're specifically trained not to listen to it. So then it becomes quieter, but it never goes away. And then I think the other bit was about the body, and we sort of look at, my body shouldn't be doing this. I want to get in control of my body. I want to get my body doing what it should be doing. And sometimes we can reach the point where it's like the body feels like it's the enemy. And I think that's something that I work on a lot. Like,
Mm,
oh, my body is stopping me from doing this, and just shifting that perspective to what is my body offering me.
mm, mm,
Rest, maybe, if it's not doing the things that, if it's not letting you go to work, for example, maybe your body is trying to offer you rest.
mm,
Maybe it's trying to offer you some wisdom about something that needs healing.
mm.
um yeah, I think
Yeah.
when we can shift that perspective to being on the same side as our bodies and not trying to control them, and just being sort of a team with our bodies, there's so much wisdom and magic that comes through.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that's true for the body side of things as well as your own person. So it's very holistic. It's yeah, stopping to be our own enemies in so many ways. I think that captures it really well, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I think so. I do a lot of internal family systems, which is parts work. So I'll just say a little bit about that
Yeah.
for anybody listening. That's where, so if you were to say part of me feels, then that's how what internal family systems is about. It's all of the different parts of us that have different feelings and are separated from what we call self, which is our core truth.
Mm,
And we can, so when we do internal family systems, we look at each of these parts and we're kind to them and loving towards them, and we offer them the love and the kindness that they needed back then when they became separate from our core self, which is usually either through conditioning or through trauma. um, and we can do that with our body as well. We can treat our body like a part and just, what do you need? Like, what's the most loving thing that I can do for my body?
mm,
And our bodies know what they need. I think we live in such a way that we've overridden them for so long that we might have developed kind of addictions like sugar and things like that, that we think that that's us, and we think that if left to our own truth, we can't trust ourselves to do that because we just lie on the sofa and eat cake all day. But when you're really connecting into your own truth, you might have a day of lying on the sofa and eating cake, and that might be fine. But there's a balance to it, and a kind of knowing where the limits are, and you know your body wants good things for you.
Yeah.
All of your parts want good things for you.
Mm. No, that's absolutely beautiful. So, so many powerful things, and it really for me also makes a connection with sort of the work that I do, which I feel people are going to set up their own business and become entrepreneurs, and they're trying to refine that alignment with their true self. Because again, I believe, like you were saying, that we, because of this of society and the way it's built and the way it works, we are very fragmented. There is work life, there is family life, there is who I am as a friend, who, and a lot of the time missing sort of that holistic picture with the connection with the self,
Mm.
um, and this alignment to our truth. And yeah, can you share a little bit about that in the connection maybe with being an entrepreneur and having your own business?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's almost this kind of feeling that who I am at work is doesn't need to be who I am. I just do the work and make money.
Yeah,
And that's probably we probably feel that more in employed work. And
yeah,
I think a lot of people become, or some people at least, become entrepreneurs to come away from that and to do work that aligns
yeah.
more. And certainly the people that you work with, I imagine, are
Mm,
wanting to align more with their true self. And still, because it's a survival thing, isn't it? Our work brings us money where we which is what brings us food and shelter. It's kind of the very very bottom of the hierarchy of needs, isn't it?
mm,
And so there's a lot of emotion in that, and a lot of potential fear if the money's not coming in. And we
yeah,
can get, and I know I sometimes get very frightened, as you know,
yeah,
um about that. I'm just losing my train of thought a little bit. And yes, so we that are then more susceptible to what other people are saying.
yeah,
So it'll be like, create this content thing or do this little course and you'll get so many clients. And we go, oh, I better do that because that will save me. And when we go into our fear, we're coming away from our truths. And so much of it, I'm feeling like so much of this entrepreneurial journey is about holding your nerve,
yeah,
and just being able to stay calm in the uncertainty, and being able to stay calm when you don't know if whether this is going to succeed or that's going to succeed, because it's in that place of calm that you can connect into your truth,
yeah.
and not get kind of sucked into here's a surefire method for this, that and the other, because there isn't. And you look at people who are being successful and they're being as much themselves as it's possible to be. They haven't looked at someone else and gone, oh, she's really successful doing that, I'm going to do that too. And that's kind of the key, is to just be as much yourself as you possibly can, I feel.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's also your message, like all your wisdom, all your the answers to your questions are within. And for
Yeah,
me, it's so true. Like everyone I work with, every business owner is different and the business is different. So what's
yeah,
going to work with one person, the strategy, and if there was a recipe that a one size fits all, we would know it's
yeah,
not there. But because of that as well, because your answers are within you, not to find like sort of externally. So that's very, very connected. But I love what you bring to the table and your work that you bring to the table as being so deeply healing. Can we go down that route a little bit and can you tell us more about sort of the deepest healing experiences that you've had and the work that you do with your clients on that sort of level?
Yeah, I would say the deepest healing experiences that I've had are when we go back to childhood.
Yeah,
And I can remember before I even became an EFT practitioner, my first experience with inner child work and just tears
yeah,
absolutely streaming. And it comes back to bringing love to those parts. So inner child work is part of parts work. Um, and just yeah, it's the acceptance of the parts that have never been accepted. And I think with clients the same.
yeah.
We when we go back to childhood, and so many things lead there. You can have an idea of where you think the root of this problem might be. And often it's completely different. It's not always childhood, but so often it is.
Hmm.
Um, and I've worked with people that have been through big trauma in adult life, and still when we start working we go there and then we go back further into childhood, and that's where the deepest healing is to be had. And I think deep healing can be quite scary for people because there are tears, and it can feel huge, but the freedom that's on the other side of it, like EFT stands for emotional freedom techniques, and it's that freedom that is just, it's so valuable
Yeah.
if you can be brave enough to go through the difficult bit and out the other side. And I have so much admiration for my clients every time that I see them do that, and the transformation that comes with that.
Mm.
So yeah.
Yeah. I think the fear is normal, and the fact of knowing that you have probably doing it on your own might not be the best thing to do. So having the right uh, professional help is
Yeah,
is a good way to process, isn't it?
absolutely, for the deep work. Yeah. And yeah, you're right, the fear is really normal because it's stuff that we're not kind of doing on an everyday basis, and often it's stuff that we've avoided for years and
Mhm.
years. So
Mm.
yeah, and yeah, definitely. With this, there are things that you can tap on your own, and I've got like lots of videos on YouTube about those sorts of things. But yeah, there are definitely pieces where you want someone else with you. And I think an important part of, sort of a part of what causes trauma, is not being witnessed in the experience.
Yeah,
So in the healing, when it's something deep, the sort of witness of working with a professional is a
yeah,
really important part of it.
exactly. And my experience in that, I know that's something as well we've discussed a few times, of that one-to-one work and the ability of it's a very beautiful. I've got the image of a journey, and being just guided gently towards it, and it makes you feel safe to be with someone guiding you. I think it also helps you access places that you would be too scared to go on your own.
Yeah,
So I say that time and time again, but nothing can replace the one-to-one work, and I know that that's also something you agree with.
absolutely. Yeah, it's really true. And yeah, and some people might choose never to do that, and that's completely fine too. But yeah, the just the feeling on the other side of it, that the freedom and the feeling of empowerment, and yeah, it's so worth it. It's so worth doing the one-to-one work. The shifts that you can have are incredible. And every time that I've done it, I work with practitioners, and yeah, it is magic.
Great. So now I'd love to dive deep a little bit more into the EFT. So I think a lot of people might not know at all what it is. So we've heard the word tapping, we've heard the emotional freedom. So yeah, can you tell us more about that now?
Absolutely. So, EFT tapping, two different words for the same, or descriptions for the same thing. We're tapping on meridian points in the body,
Yeah.
and repeating certain phrases. So, if you and I were doing a session, you would talk to me a little bit about what it was that you wanted some help with,
Mm.
and then I would summarize that into short phrases that I would say, and you would repeat back to me,
Hmm.
as we're tapping on the points. So,
Mm.
Shall we try a little bit of
Yes,
tapping, and
I
show
think it's a
everyone how
great
to do
idea.
it? What if we did something about self-belief in self-employment? Do you think that would be a good
Perfect.
topic?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just going to kind of make these things up. We haven't had this conversation, but I'm going to I'm going to say things that come up for me and things that I can imagine coming up
Yeah.
for entrepreneurs. So we start tapping here on the side of the hand, and this is called the karate chop point. And lots of the points are on one side or the other, so you can tap like that, or you can tap both sides together. And my feeling is it doesn't make any difference. I've been tapping for a long time and I don't feel the difference between one side or the other or both. Some people do, but it's a very, very forgiving process. So just try it, see what works best for you. And that goes for all of the points that are on either side. Generally, if you have a question like, oh, do I need to do this or do I need to do that? The answer is it doesn't matter because it is such a forgiving process. And
Can't do
it's
it
it's
wrong.
just you can't get it wrong. You can't do any harm. Maybe if you're really, really trying to do some harm, you could, but I've never known anyone do any harm with it.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I would say just give it a go.
Just do
So
it.
we
Oh.
yeah, just go for it. So if you're listening in, if you're watching at home, please do tap along with us and we'll say on the karate chop point, we say a setup statement and we say it 3 times and it goes, even though, so if you repeat after me,
Yeah.
Clem,
Even though
I don't always believe in myself.
I don't always believe in myself,
That's okay.
that's okay.
And I love and accept myself anyway.
And I love and accept myself anyway.
So just to go into the structure of that, we always start with even though, then we state the problem, and then we end with an affirmation.
Ah, great.
So let's do that a couple more times. Even though
Even though
I sometimes doubt myself,
I sometimes doubt myself,
that's okay.
that's okay.
And I love and accept myself anyway.
And I love and accept myself anyway.
Even though
Even though
I wish I could believe in myself more,
I wish I could believe in myself more,
that's okay.
that's okay.
And I'm okay.
And I'm okay.
And I choose to love and accept myself anyway.
And I choose to love and accept myself anyway.
Amazing. So that's our setup statement done. And now we're going to move on to the reminder points. So we've got 5 on the face, 2 on the torso, and then we go to the top of the head. So we start at the beginning of the eyebrow. So that is perfect. Sometimes people will go a bit too high up, but just go for the beginning of the eyebrow,
Yeah.
just as Clem and I are doing. Sometimes I lack self-belief.
Sometimes I like self belief.
Lack
Lack.
self-belief.
Yes. Sometimes I lack self belief.
And then we're going to the side of the eye. So here we're on the bone. So you're not as far back as the temples, not so close that it makes you blink, and that's perfect. I don't always believe in myself.
I don't always believe in myself.
And then we're going under the eye. So this is again on the bone. I wish I could believe in myself more.
I wish I could believe in myself more.
And then our next one is under the nose. I don't always believe in myself.
I don't always believe in myself.
And then our next one is called the chin point, but it's just below the lower lip. That's perfect. Sometimes I doubt myself.
Sometimes I doubt myself.
Our next point is the collarbone point. So if you find the 2 notches of your collarbone here and then move out and down a couple of inches, it might feel a little bit more sensitive or it might not, and that's fine either way. Sometimes I doubt myself.
Sometimes I doubt myself.
And then we're going to under the arm. So we're about 4 inches down, about on the bra line. I don't always believe I can do it.
I don't always believe I can do it.
And then top of the head. I don't always believe in myself.
I don't always believe in myself.
And so that's all of the points. And then we'll take a deep breath. So what we did there was we just started with the reality. So it seems that people often see it as the negative, but it's where we're starting from. It's how we're really feeling. And by tapping on it and voicing it out loud, it doesn't, sometimes people who are used to saying affirmations worry that that's going to bed it in more, but that's not what happens because we're tapping, the energy is moving and
Mm.
it's flowing through and out of us.
Mm.
So once we've done our negative, we move on to, I'll often move on to a sort of back and forth positive, negative, and then onto a positive. Have we got time for a bit of that?
Do we do?
Amazing. Right, so we'll go straight back into the eyebrows. Um, we'll say, I wonder how it would feel to believe in myself more.
I wonder how it will feel to believe more in myself.
Side of the eye. I'm open to the possibility.
I'm open to the possibility.
Part of me says no.
Part of me says no.
I don't believe I can do this.
I don't believe I can do this.
Part of me is ready to wonder.
Part of me is ready to wonder.
Maybe I can do this.
Maybe I can do this.
Under the arm. I know that people are doing this.
I know that people are doing this.
Top of the head. Why not me?
Why not me?
And then keep going. I think I am ready to do this.
I think I am ready to do this.
I think I really am capable.
I think I really am capable.
There's a little part of me with some doubt,
There's a little part of me with some doubt,
and that's okay.
and that's okay.
I'm ready to go for it anyway.
I'm ready to go for it anyway.
I'm ready to prove to myself that I can do this.
I'm ready to prove to myself that I can do this.
I'm really capable.
I'm really capable.
I'm ready to believe fully in myself.
I'm ready to believe fully in myself.
And then take a deep breath. How does that feel?
Beautiful. It's I felt the difference with the first part, which for me was a lot more calming. It was calming.
Yeah,
I could feel something soothing happening with the energy moving.
yeah,
And the more we progressed, the more it was energizing. That's
yeah.
how I would describe it.
Amazing. That's so good. Yeah, so those signals are going straight into your
Mm.
amygdala and just turning off that fight or flight response to whatever extent it's activated.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think and there's something very calming about being able to speak the truth as well,
Yes.
about, just finally being able to say, this is what's going on for me. Sometimes even if it's something awful, yeah, maybe you're in a situation where everything's just too much and you're admitting to yourself that it's too much and I can't do all of this.
Yeah.
Just being able to say that can feel really good.
Yeah. It does. It does feel really good. It feels accepting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's back to that truth again, and
Yeah.
the truth always has a feeling of peace with it.
Yeah.
Doesn't always feel exciting and joyful, but it always brings a feeling of peace because often we're putting a lot of energy into denying our own truth.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. And I loved how you um because it does in a way it feels quite simple, but in a way as well, and I'm trying to find the words to describe it. It feels like you have built a lot of competence to be able to know what to say and how to cruise through it. I felt really confident in the way you were guiding me.
That's good. Yeah, I think that does come with experience. And yeah, I've been doing this about 8 years now, and there's a lot of kind of reading people and
Yes,
watching to see someone's face change. And obviously I haven't done that so much with you because it's more of a demonstration, but
yes,
in a session, we would stay with the negative or the reality longer, and I would
yes.
notice that change. I'd notice you might sigh, or I might see your shoulders go down, and then I'd start to bring in, I wonder if I could see things differently,
Mm,
and see if you stayed calm or if you went, and then
action, yeah.
and then we would go back into no, I'm not ready to see things differently. So it's staying where you are for as long as you need to, and as long as you need to, it's usually like 5 or 10 minutes. It can be
Yeah,
somewhere that you've been stuck for years, but once you start tapping on it, it clears so quickly.
yeah. That's so powerful. That's also that has blown me away. The fact, and I'm sure people who have tried to do that as well while they were watching, how instant it is, how quickly you feel things move. Mm.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I've been doing about 15 minutes a day. My normal is about 5 minutes a day. And I'm in a kind of transitional part of my life now, so I'm doing a little bit more. And it's just
Yeah,
15 minutes is nothing, is it?
it's
Just
nothing.
to start your day
Absolutely.
and shift things. And so shifting emotions can be really quick.
Yeah.
Shifting physical pain, you can use it to shift
Oh
physical
yeah.
pain. That can
Oh,
be really quick as well. And then beliefs is one of the things that I kind of work on. That can take a little bit longer. That
mm,
can take sustained effort. That's the sort of daily tapping thing, is cultivating a new belief, especially if it's countercultural,
yeah.
because you can put the new belief in this morning, like I can earn enough money without working myself to death. I mean, that's not very positively framed. I'd put it differently. Um, and then you might go out into the world and be spending time with people who are like, oh, I've been working since 6 o'clock this morning and I won't finish until 10 o'clock tonight. And then you've got to go back and tap and say, even though Joan down the road is working till 10 o'clock tonight, I don't have to, and I don't have to buy into that belief. So sometimes if you're going against culture, it takes a bit more effort because
Yeah.
there's sort of those two things working
And
against each other.
counting influences. Okay, yeah, I'm with you. So I want to mention here that there's loads and loads of resources on your YouTube channel that I'll make sure to
Yes,
put in the description of the comments.
brilliant.
The other thing I'd like to talk about before we end our recording also is the women's circle. Can you tell us more
Yes.
about that and what maybe is different, who it would be amazing for, who you would recommend to try?
Yeah, it's amazing for all women. So it's inclusive, trans inclusive,
Yeah.
and we meet once a month. It's on a Wednesday evening, and we do a meditation,
Mm,
and we have a sharing circle, and we talk about what came up in the meditation or what's going on in our lives.
yeah.
And then we take the last hour, or sometimes it's more than an hour, just to tap on what's coming up for each person.
Yeah.
So for anyone that's not feeling quite ready to dive straight into one-to-one sessions, or if you're wanting some ongoing support, but there's nothing that you need one-to-one
Yeah.
sessions for right now, if you're wanting that sort of community element
Mm,
of being with a group of like-minded people who care about their healing and really want to make the world a better place. Yeah, it's lovely, lovely for anyone who is feeling that way. And it's a really good kind of introduction into
yeah.
doing a bit more tapping. And if you've got questions around tapping, it's a good place
Yeah.
to bring those as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's online, isn't it?
It's online, yes. So it's anyone can come anywhere in the world.
Wonderful. There is welcome. Wonderful. Oh, that's beautiful. And if also like you might not know where you're at, one way to figure it out would be to contact Saffron for a discovery session. That's also
Yes.
on the table. If not you're not really sure if you're more you would benefit more from one to one or in person, or if you're still like not really sure about EFT and want to have a 30-minute chat, it's a great place to
Yeah.
start as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So you can use the free 30-minute chat for whatever you want. If you want me to just teach you the points, or if you want to talk through what would be best for you, if
Mhm.
you're interested in the circle or one-to-one sessions, yeah,
Yeah,
do go ahead and book a chat. I'd love to chat to you.
yeah, exactly. Beautiful. And the other thing I wanted to say is how trying to find the best word to describe it. Um, you have a very calming presence, but I think it's even more than that. I felt very held. There is a holding. There is um, a softness, but in that way, which I
Thank
really
you.
appreciated.
Yeah, thank you. That's good to hear. I definitely have that intention of providing that
Yes.
cozy, soft space.
Yeah.
That's because that's where the things can come out. You need to
Yeah.
feel fully safe in order to process some of the deeper stuff.
Yeah. Exactly, like a self space and felt held and yeah, and really really beautiful energy. So thank you so much, Saffron.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we might do it again. We might have some more ideas and more sessions. I'm sure there will be plenty of things we could be discussing together.
Yeah.
So yeah, so keep following Saffron on social media. There'll be all the links for to connect with her. Check her website, her YouTube channel, and the different social media to keep up track of the different events and workshops and the different things that you'll be doing. But thank you so much for today, Saffron. It's been amazing.
Oh, thank you very much, Clem.
All right. Bye bye, everyone.